So hi, welcome to today's session. Today we'll be looking at Microsoft Sway. So welcome to the day. As you can see from the first slide, we've had a lot of people join us in the last 3 days. If you can see your school on there, great, welcome back. If you can't see your school, college or organisation on there, if you just want to send us a message in the live Q&A, we'll get you on there as soon as possible. If you've missed any of our previous sessions over the last 3 days, if you go to the college website, you can have a look at those and recap what's been covered already. Next week's sessions focus on Microsoft Teams assignments on Tuesday, followed by Flipgrid and Wakelet on Thursday. Again, these can be accessed on the college website.
Absolutely. So this Teams live event, there's some instructions on the screen for you there. So if you want to ask a question, it's in the top right. If you're on your phone, it's in the top right as well. So click the question mark and Nicola will be reviewing your questions and we'll answer them as best we can.
One thing we would say was if you require any bespoke support from us as an EdTech demonstrator college, there'll be a form posted in the chat as we go through the session.
So this is everybody who we're doing our EdTech demonstrations. We had some brilliant ones from Launch, M365 on Teams, Teaching with Teams, OneNote on Teams, which have already been, you can find all those. This is us presenting with Sway, and in the future we've got Teams assignments, Flipgrid and Wakelet, and a OneNote Advance. So, I'm Lewis, I'm a music performance teacher at Wilberforce. I'm a second year of teacher training, and I've just found Sway particularly, and I'm really chuffed that John's asked us to sort of present it with Nicola because I found it so useful and it saved me a lot of time. And Sway is just a really creative way for me to bring ideas and presentations to my teaching. I'm finding the advancement of technology and the current situation we're all living in now a really sort of interesting challenge in my teacher training, but it's something I've obviously, for the best of the kids, we have to adapt to as teachers. And this technology doesn't hinder that, it helps us with it.
Okay, hi, so I'm Nicola. I've been teaching at the college for the last 20 years. I've taught a range of subjects, predominantly PE and public services. This year I'm teaching functional skills in maths. I'm probably newer to Sway than Lewis, and I'm kind of finding my feet with it over the last few weeks. I've really enjoyed getting kids on board and seeing kind of their ideas, and they're learning alongside me of how to develop, like Lewis says, in these strange times, how to use new technologies to kind of improve teaching and learning.
So what is Sway? So Sway is a new app from Microsoft that makes it easy to create and share interactive reports, personal stories and presentations and more. I use it in sort of all aspects of my life as well as teaching. I think it's so useful, and it rewards creativity, which is something we'll get into. But straight off, I want to show you a quick video from me that was made during lockdown that'll take you through what exactly Sway is and the basics of creating Sways from scratch. Get that back up. You're gonna have to forgive my lockdown haircut. Hi guys, it's Lewis, Wilberforce College music performance teacher. Today I'm
We got the start down, so I'm determined not to edit this one. Yeah.
So hopefully you can see that now.
Yeah. There you go. You're on the Sway. That's it.
There's a brilliant saying in theatre, John, and I never remember it, but it's something like, when everything goes wrong, make art. So that's what we're going to do today. So
we're looking forward to it.
As you can see, I use Sway all the time, constantly. I absolutely love it. I use it for blogs for my teacher training, and I use it for assignment briefs for my students, because I think it only takes a few seconds and you can make something really creative and interactive. So if I take you through, let's find, this is what I did for my students, my theatre students on Stephen Bakoff. So Stephen Berkoff, for those who know, is a really brilliant theatre practitioner, invented total theatre, but he's got some really complex themes and some themes that are quite academic for this age group. So it was important for me to have a fun and interactive way they could get into it. So this is the handout I gave them. So they would have a copy of this in their hand, and I've also put it on Sway. So in Sway you can have, it comes up with a title that you just scroll through and it stays as you scroll up. Then you can have your lesson plans or things. I use it for lessons. So this is my Sway on Stephen Berkoff. And as you're scrolling through and seeing it, and you can think of the students scrolling up and down on their phone, it's just a much more fun and interactive version of PowerPoint. So the videos stay in and work from there. And then if I press play on this video, hopefully this works. So they can have this video up while scrolling through Sway. So it'll just be Stephen Berkoff doing something crazy. But if you get the meaning of it, I just think if you look at it here, it's such more fun and interactive and a much better way of presenting. And it's accessible on all platforms as well. So as a student scrolling through this, I just think this is much more useful to them and their age group rather than giving them loads of pieces of paper with this information on. It's all in one document. So if we go back to Sway's templates. So Sway can be used for blogs, DIY projects. It's got some really good templates as well. If you go through at the bottom, but most importantly is how to create a Sway. So you obviously start from create new. So Sway is a card system. So you're essentially creating and stacking cards on top of each other. So if I wanted to create a Sway on music, that'd be my title, and then I think, well, I'd like a background image. On the right hand side here, it automatically comes up with suggestions. So if I click music, it'll come up with images and suggestions that I'd like to put in. So I think, yeah, I like that image, I'll add that. And then I'm going to say, put some text in. So in music, sing. So I think, yeah, that's what I'd like to add in my Sway. If I want to see how it's going so far, press play. So straight away it comes up with a presentation for you. Now it automatically selects the style, but you can edit all that. So if you go to edit and design and styles on the right hand side, you can change how you want this Sway to look, and you can also change the font and the feel of it. So I think I'd rather have this as vertical, and I don't like the red there. I'll go to some of these suggestions down here. So I think it's going through, bluebirds, that's a bit of me, I love that. That's what I want for my Sway. And you can add and add and add, and you can also change and edit as you go. So if I wanted a video, let's say, and I bet you, see if I can find a video on Sway.
I'll just quickly say, Lewis, I've got all 3 of your videos saved to my OneDrive that you made during lockdown. So anytime you want those loading up, just let us know. Oh,
well, if you can, yeah. I mean, that might be a bit better than my explanation here.
No, your live demo is cracking. It's just whether you wanted to do the videos first and then do the live demo, or other way around. It's up to you.
Yeah, well, I'll go through this from my train of thought now as best I can.
And then just let us know.
Yeah.
Just let us know when you want to kick to a video.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's just say I want to drag that there. Then it's just you drag cards and stack them on top of each other, around each other, from any way you want them. So depending where you put that is where it'll end up in your Sway. So you just press play, starts off with music, scroll down, there's your photo, and there's your text, and it builds from there really. So let me see if we go back to my PowerPoint, if my other videos are working. So hopefully everybody can see that. Let's see if that one works again really. We've got something. No, we haven't. That was wishful thinking on my part there. Let's see if we can go to our next.
Do you want me to share it so I can share your beginner one?
If you can, that'd be really helpful, John.
Yep, no problem.
Yeah.
Hi guys, it's Lewis, Wilberforce College music teacher. Today I'm going to take you through Sway. Sway is an interactive embedded web browser that you can use for presentations, newsletters, CVs and portfolios, anything like that. I'm going to talk to you about why I think it's such a valuable tool for teachers and also a valuable tool for students, and why I think it's a much better way of, presenting PowerPoints or students presenting reports and assignments and things like that. So basically, this is Sway. So Sway is part of Office 365. It should already be in your web browser, no matter what you're using. There it is. So if we click on an example of a Sway, you can see straight away it's almost identical to PowerPoint, but it's all in one form. And as it comes up, it's much more artistic, much more engaging, and if you look, it's fully interactive. So this is one of their templates. This is a really good way of using it. So if a student is looking at a Sway on their phone, on their tablet, or any device, it all comes out the same. It looks great, and it's fully interactive. So how is it practical for teaching? Let's say I wanted to create a presentation for one of my units for music. I would go on Create New, and there's three forms you can do. We'll start with Create New, and I want to create a Sway presentation on music projects or music history. So I would type in, give it a title. Let's just put music for now. And I want a photo to go with that. So I would click here to add an image as my background, and Sway automatically searches it for you or gives you options and suggestions. Now that's the best thing about Sway. While you can also upload anything from your own device or use anything you want from OneDrive, it also sort of preemptively tries to think what is the best way it can help you out. So yeah, I like that image. I want that as my background, so I just drag it straight from here. It automatically does Creative Commons. You can click off that and use anything. It uses Bing or whatever search engine you like. If you're looking at suggestive, you can it can search on Flickr, Bing, or straight from YouTube if you want. So I think that's great. That's the title, music, and I would like to add something about to explain my students' music notation. Let's choose this one. Drag it underneath, and you can see it's like a card system. So every time you're adding to Sway, you're sort of effectively creating new cards to stack on top of each other, which can be moved about any way you want. This is the most important part of Sway, is just adding to your presentation. So do I want to add a new image, a new header, text, media, or a group? I think, what would be good after explaining notation would be to create a stack of images like we saw in the other one. And I can drag just a stack of images. Let's choose a random, just keep adding them. Yeah, I think that's great. I want them to be able to see an example of loads of different images and also be able to click and interact with that. So you can title anything you put on Sway and any sort of photograph you put on. I will title this music notation. And underneath here, if it was an actual presentation, I would be explaining what notation is what I meant. I would be explaining what music notation is. So what is notation? And type as much as I want, give it bullet points if I want, it's already there, or examples. We'll come to that in a moment. So if I want to see how I'm getting on so far, this is what I have so far. Now Sway automatically gives you a design outlet. So it automatically gives you a random design, and you can edit it in any way you want. So let's say I'm not happy with this, and I want it to be more colourful or anything to that effect. I would go to design and go over and click on styles. You can choose whether you want it to scroll vertically or horizontally, or be much more like a traditional PowerPoint with slides. I'd like this to be horizontal, and I think I'd like it to have more colour. Oh, that's brilliant. Let's have cupcakes and cherries as my style. That's a bit of me. So I think that's great. Let's go back. So after this, or in fact, I'll show you again. This is what creating a stack will do. So students can just click through, and each one of these can be captioned. So you can see there, that's where I've put music notation. They click on that, it comes up with what is music notation. So you kind of even like hiding little Easter eggs, like an interactive website. I think that's such a valuable tool, and it keeps students much more engaged when it comes to anything you're trying to share, any information you're trying to share with them, rather than a dry PowerPoint where you click in next slide and it comes up with some text and an image, and next slide it comes with a text and image. You can do anything you like in Sway. So I think I would like to embed, we'll do it as an image. I think I want here a video explaining what music notation is. And you can put the URL of a YouTube video in there if you like, or you can think, oh, I'd like to sort of scroll through different ones, see what it suggests. This is a really good one as well. I want to drag that there. Brilliant. We'll caption it with, just put video for now. Let's go back to how it's going to look when the students look at it. So they've got your title, they're scrolling through, interactive text, and automatically it comes up with video. They can play that video, and you can still scroll all the way through, you swear. So that's great. Sway is so interactive, and you can literally put anything you want all your ideas into it. Another great way to use it, especially if you want to save yourself time or you want to look at some more broader aspects of Sway and for it to create you a template, is you can create from a topic. So I want to create a presentation on music in general. I'm going to explain the history of music, what music is to my students. I can put in music, create from an outline. And powered by Wikipedia, it will automatically create me a Sway, give me titles, pick relevant pictures, and put in some information on music. So if you're looking through it, it's created its own card system. All of these from the titles from Wikipedia. If I play, I can see what is chosen for me. So I think that's great as it goes through, and I can just fill in the information what I think is relevant. So, you know, it'll just choose based on, I mean, I picked a really broad topic there, but you can pick whatever you like, or as specific as you like, and it'll try its best to create something for you. The best way to use Sway, in my opinion, is to sort of improve on things you already use in classrooms. So I wanted to give my students a presentation on Bon Iver. I would use a PowerPoint I've been using last year that I really liked, but I think Sway could improve on it in every way. So if we look at the PowerPoint here and do a slideshow, and I would be talking, I'm going to talk about Justin Vernon. Next slide, this is his first album. Click, next slide, this and that, and this and that. I could give that to my students, and they could look at it while I was presenting it to them, but they probably wouldn't look at it after, and they probably wouldn't have it on their phones, scroll through a PowerPoint on their phones, but they would do in a Sway because it's a much more interactive thing. So I'm going to upload my presentation, and Sway will create it into a Sway point for me. Just takes a few minutes. So this is what my students will see. And I mean, immediately, that is just miles better.
You are live.
I can embed any video. They can scroll all the way through and back, and I can edit it and change it any way I like. And I can also ask it if I want. Excuse me. I can also ask it to pick a random style. So if you click remix, it'll just choose something at random. And again, I can choose anything specific, so like that. So hopefully that's been informative to you, and a sort of really brief outline of what you can do with Sway and how you can use it to improve your classroom presentations, or anything you want students to take home with flip learning, or if you want students to refer to, even assignment briefs, any sort of Word document or PowerPoint can be brought into it. And you wanted to have a look and say you were a photography teacher, you could look at getting your students to do look at a much more professional CV, an interactive CV for employers, or even as something as simple as you want one of your students to do a report on caterpillars, and it's got a template here, and that for me is just a much more artistic and a much more engaging way for students to present things or to do assignments that require presentation rather than PowerPoint. So thank you for watching. Hopefully that's been informative, and the next video will tackle more advanced things you can do in Sway.
Right, so firstly, apologise for me not being muted for the first bit of that. It's chaotic here. So if I just stop sharing my screen, do you want to try and go back to your end and share it?
No, John.
Did you hear the sound and everything? Was that on your video?
The sound was, yeah.
And all my lot running around like idiots. I realised that I probably didn't mute myself, but when I was flicking between the screens, did it disappear off your screen?
I think the video froze a bit, mate.
Yeah, because I couldn't literally come back in to mute myself because I saw that the video was coming off. Right, so you guys are on, there you go.
Lovely. So can you see my screen?
Yeah, you're on, yeah.
So, I hope you enjoyed that video. In this next video, Nick's going to show you how to convert a Word document into Sway. So we're getting into how to actually use the resources you already have and just putting them into Sway for a sort of more interactive presentation. I mean, what I said in the video is that the kids find it so much more useful on the phones. So if you've got a Word document with loads of information on it, they won't download it and read it, or they'll have it in lesson in front of them, but they probably won't have it at home. Whereas if it's an interactive document that they can scroll through on Sway, like a website, and I think Sway resembles a lot of band websites I go onto now, where if you scroll, it's all one big piece that you scroll through and it's really interactive. So some people find it easy to complete a document in a format they're familiar with, like Word, and then convert it into a Sway, which is a really easy thing to do. And Nick is going to show you that now, hopefully. If not, I've had a laugh. Do you know? I feel like that block out of network. I'm mad as hell and I'm not going to take it anymore. I'm just going to start playing these guitars and we'll do a live stream instead.
The last video showed you how to convert a PowerPoint into a Sway. This video will show you how to convert a Word document.
No. He's only playing a few.
Get on them drums.
I'm going to. I'm having a mint imperial. There's nothing you can do about it. Take that, John.
Can I have one?
No, you can't. Right.
Could you demonstrate how to do a PowerPoint into a Sway, or did you do that in the video?
What I can do is try and find it on YouTube and do that instead.
I've got your intermediate one, or was the video quality quite poor when I played it from this end?
I think the video quality was fine, as long as it was playing. I'm quite happy with that.
Yeah, so do you want me to play? I can play the intermediate one.
If you play the intermediate one, the second one from me, I'm afraid it was just a terrible time to have a mint imperial. It's a huge mistake. So if you play the intermediate one, and then I'll find Nick's ones on YouTube and we'll play it straight from my desktop. Is that all right, John?
Yeah, not a problem.
Thank you.
Right, share.
Advance this way is fine.
Last video I took you through Sway, how to get started with it, and what to do in terms of using PowerPoint presentations and just overall upping your interactivity with your assignments for students or their reports they can submit to you. So we looked at creating a new one from scratch. We looked at starting from a topic, and my favourite, which is starting from a document, which just you upload your document into it, no matter what document it is. Sway will convert it for you, and you can edit it and make it much more interactive. So we uploaded the PowerPoint presentation that I had for my students for Bon Iver, Justin Vernon, the songwriter. So this is it here. And you can see I've put in some videos, I've put in some photos. I just want to take you through a quick sort of editing process of what I like to do to make it a bit more interactive. You can see I've put a banner there. So first thing is to sort of cement your style, really. What I like to do is choose my style and font based on the picture I put in. So I put that in as a background there. So I put that in as a background. And if we go to design, go to styles, you can look here, it says customize. So you can choose any one of these, and these are all great, or you can ask it to remix it randomly for you. But I kind of want something more cohesive, and you can see a lot of other videos, because he's a a folk, indie pop folk singer. It's all quite muted colours, a lot of very sort of American iconography. Some really good artwork he does for his albums there. I'm a massive fan of Bon Iver. We'll go to custom, and it brings up, if you can see here, colour options based on the photos you choose. So if I choose the header as my colour options, it gives me some colour palettes of font, which I think is fantastic. So immediately it fits the colours and in the font based on the style it thinks the photo you put up. Now you probably put up better resolution photos than me, but it just goes through all the colour palettes that you've got on this way. So let's say I'm really happy with this one. Down here, after you click customize, you can see you can choose the font. So this is how you change your font. Ombre. Yeah, let's say I like that. You can choose how subtle or intense animations are. So when you're scrolling down, it automatically does animations for you, depending on what your style is. So if my students are flicking through their phone, these photos will appear, and you can choose how moderate or subtle or the animations are, and you can also adjust the text size. Recommend having a fairly large text size because it scales to your phone anyway, so your students can read it. So no matter what device, no matter what size of the screen, it'll scale to that to make it readable. I choose a random font. Let's have that one. Okay, so let's say I'm happy with that. You can also go on curated, so it gives you an option. And if you're really clever, you can go on custom, and you can input things from a certain color palette. So let's say you knew the numbers to put in to look for colors on the particular color spectrum. If you're clever like that, you can do that if you like, which I think is awesome. So going back, if we click on pictures, and I've just double clicked on focus points there quite quickly. Focus points, you can set it, and this is how it'll appear on your students' devices. So it'll show you. You can set it so if you think, let's say I thought this photo and the image of the boy standing towards the mountains is the most important part of the photo, I can click on both of these and set it as a custom, and you can see as your students are scrolling through, depending on what picture you have, this is what they'll see. So you can adjust it to anything you think is important, anything to that effect, or if, like me, you think the entire image is important, this is what they'll see. Let's say I think that's important, and it'll adjust it on the fly for you, which I think is great. So going back to storyline, you can see it doesn't say bold and it doesn't say italics. There's a particular reason for that, because it just depends on what style you've chosen. Now I've highlighted time and memory here. If you highlight something and click link, you can just create a hyperlink straight away to what you think is relevant. You can even do it on a single letter. So I think memory is an important thing, and that links to a YouTube video. And I think if I want, for example, time, and then click on it on their phone, it can link to anything. You just put the web link in there so it can link to your explanation of it on a different way if you like, or any sort of web link, it works. So if we go back to play, and my student is scrolling through it and clicks memory, it says on there, because I think it's just my computer, it says it'll be redirected, don't worry about that, yours probably won't, and it'll send them straight to a YouTube video, which I think is great. You can upload, as I said before, any video in any one of the cards. If you see it there, that links to a YouTube video. So you can hide little Easter eggs in things that the students want to explore through the Sway, which I think is fantastic. And let's say I wanted a different version of Skinny Loving by Bonavia. There's loads of ways I can do it. I can either go through image and then click video in the sources. I can add it as image straight away, or I can embed it into it, or just an audio track. So any sort of file you want from SoundCloud, no matter what your file is, no matter what system you're using, MP3, WAV, or any link, it'll put it in for you. I'm going to copy this. I want this YouTube video specifically, so I'll copy this in. Find it for me. And I just drag it from there. No need to convert it, no need to embed it or as a link or anything. Looking at the groups again, so I've got a stack of photos here, and I didn't want it as a stack. I could change its group type. It comes up with different options. This one's pretty good. I mean, you've got a range of options. You can do comparison photos, like before and after photos. So if I choose that as a comparison, go back to play, scroll down to find it. This is what my students can do. It works for anything and any photo, any group of photos, which I think is fantastic. Obviously better with just 2 comparison photos, but again, it makes it a much more interactive thing for the students. You can set emphasis on any video to be as large or as small as you want. So if you look on the side here, I can set the emphasis of these photos specifically, or this video. Let's say I want this video to be a focal point. I will click a large emphasis, go to play and see what it looks like. You see it's come up quite big there. I can say it's a small or medium. So it just generally depends on what you want to design your Sway to be. So the most important thing is to be creative with it and have fun with it, sort of any way you think you want to use it. The best thing for me with Sway, it just saves me so much time. So going through, it's all in here for you, and you can select them as is or delete them as you want, and you can move them about. So I want that there. In fact, you know, I want this image there instead of it being a group. It moves any way you want. So you're literally stacking cards on top of each other. That's the best way to think about it. So hopefully that's been informative and a little few more advanced tips and tricks, as I'm still learning as I'm going. But the most important thing is to be creative with Sway. So once you think you're happy with everything, you don't want to add any more to it, you want to send it straight to your students, just click share in the top right. Says anyone with a link can access this Sway, so you just send them this link directly. They can access it just to view it and just to interact with it, or they can access it to edit it. So if you're working on a project with someone or working on Sway with someone, or students are working together, they can share it as an edited link, and anyone with that link can edit anything on the Sway or just to view it. Share it as a visual link, so it comes up like that. So if you're putting it in Teams or you're putting it on a website, it looks like it's embedded with a thumbnail with an image you can change. Or if you're a bit more techy, you can get it in the embed code and put it in how you want and edit that. Straight to social media, straight to your LinkedIn. Comes up as a link, goes straight to Sway. So it's all online, all interactive. Be creative with it and make sure you're using it to save yourself time. Thank you very much.
Yeah,
right, so Lewis, you've lined something up. I've bought you some time.
I have and all. Isn't that a coincidence?
So do you want to just excuse the fact that we gave them advanced? We didn't have intermediate.
Absolutely.
I'm sure they were ready for it.
But you, again, that's the thing, guys. We're not experts at this, which really must really surprise you. You know, I'm being totally honest. But we do. We've used it, and you'll probably find a much more creative way and a much more interesting way of implementing it in your specific subject or your specific area than we have. I think I'm really drawn to these things, and I think in performance and music when I use it, and I've been going through with you using it with sport and stuff like that. Even for small things, if you can make the smallest things you give to students interactive, and the smallest things you give to students at least interesting, like an assignment brief where they'll go, oh, I don't know what my assignment brief is, but it's on your phone in a sway, and they flick up and through that sway, and it's got a link to a YouTube video with the grading criteria. I just think that's so useful. So we are going to look at Nick's video, which I've got loaded up on YouTube, which is to convert an online document. So your first one was a Word document. Yeah. So it's convert a Word document into Sway. So converting a Word document into Sway. So hopefully you can see a YouTube video there, John.
I can see the PowerPoint that you've got. I can see it if you're hovering over that slide. Yeah, there's a YouTube video in there. Yeah.
So I'll share my desktop. So let's stop sharing. Let's share with system audio.
That last video was perhaps too advanced. We lost 2 attendees.
Oh no. Right, so this is.
I can still see your PowerPoint.
So.
Can you Alt and Tab through your desktop screens?
Good idea. So can you see a Word document there? Sorry, a YouTube video.
Let me unshare it and just try and see if you can just share the individual web link, because it just keeps going back to your PowerPoint.
How about that?
Third time's a charm. There you go.
There we go.
Yeah, there we go.
Did you share system audio?
Yes, I think so. So hopefully you'll be able to hear this.
I'll tell you in a sec.
The last video showed you how to convert a PowerPoint into.
So can you hear that?
Yeah, that was fine.
Brilliant. So this is the brilliant Nick showing us how to convert a Word document to a Sway.
The last video showed you how to convert a PowerPoint into a Sway. This video will show you how to convert a Word document you have saved in your documents into a Sway. First of all, you need to open Office 365 and select Sway. Click on the Start from a document. You then select the document you wish to use. This will then turn it into a Sway. You now have the option to edit the Sway. To do this, click on the Edit button. You will see you have 2 options, Storyline and Design. In the Storyline option, you can edit the text, embed pictures, videos and links. In this case, the Sway is looking at athletes. Click on the Insert tab and select a relevant picture or video. You then click on the picture and drag to where you would like it on the Sway. You then click on the video option and again click the one that you wish to use and put onto the Sway. If you highlight the text, you also have a number of options. For example, emphasizing the text or turning it into a heading. If you make an error, don't worry, you always have the option to undo in the top right hand side of the screen. Next, click on the Design tab. From here, click on the Style option. This will allow you to edit the design of the sway. This can include the layout and themes. Once you have edited your sway, to see how it looks, click on the play button. If you are happy, you can simply share this by clicking on the share button. Here you have the option to share with specific people or groups, those in your organisation, or anyone with the link. Another nice feature here is you are able to get a visual link that you can send to people. Hope you find this useful.
We certainly did. Thanks, Nick.
Yeah, one thing I would say about that, I've started to use these, like I said before, I've not been using these very long, but I have started to use them over the last couple of weeks to kind of embed a link into, as it said there, like a help sheet. So students, as Lewis alluded to earlier, sometimes find that they've just got like a piece of paper with kind of information of how to help them complete assignments, might be some tips. Whereas with the sway, what I've been doing is been actually sharing, obviously getting a Word document and transforming it into a sway, and then kind of embedding links in there, because we all know that students come, they don't quite understand what's on the help sheet, they ask lots of questions. So embedding links to kind of other websites or possibly videos, what they can actually watch, seems to help them understand sometimes a little bit more than the words that are written on the paper. So I found that really, really helpful.
Yeah, and you can also embed tweets, embed Instagram links, and also embed another sway into a sway,
okay,
which is really useful. And then we're also going to show you, let's have a look, which one was your other one? So we're going to show you another video from Nick. It's just about converting an online document to a sway.
This video shows how to transform a Word document that is saved online into a sway. I am logged onto Office 365. I know I have a document stored in my OneDrive. I simply click on the OneDrive icon. Select the file I wish to use. In this instance, document 1. This takes me to my online Word document. From here, I press File, Transform, and click Transform to a web page. In here, I have the option to change the style and look of my sway. I then press Transform, This converts my document into a sway and provides me with the editing options previously discussed. I hope this has been useful. So that's two ways that I've used Word. Obviously, recently what I've done is I was working with a group of my sub-dip students in sport, and they were applying for jobs in the sport and leisure industry. Now, they had some basic CVs on their desktops, and what we said was we'd use this tool to kind of have a look at making their CV more visually attractive. So we got them to change it into a sway, obviously, and then what we did, we got them to critique each other's to see what they could add, what kind of tips and hints that they could add using all of the themes and styles. to try and make it more interactive, really. And you know, if they were applying for, we were talking the other day about, you know, for example, art students might use this when they're, and photography students, you know, might, when they have to submit portfolios, this might be a really good tool for them.
I've spoken to a few people in the industry who've had applicants send them CVs through Sway because they just love the way it's been presented. Right then, they'd probably rather have it than a couple of pieces of paper or a big, you know, big notebook. You're sort of joining the modern world a bit there, aren't you? So yeah, I'm going to show you a live demonstration straight away, because the most important thing about this is if it doesn't make your life easier, if any of these don't make your life, especially as a teacher, easier, then you shouldn't use them. But I think Sway saved me so much time. So hopefully, John, you can see my my screen there with the Internet Explorer on.
Yep, I can see that, yeah.
So I have been reading an article, let's say, on the bus. I've been reading an article about music. I've got to spell. So I'm reading an article on the bus on my way here, because 9 times out of 10, a lot of times in my lesson, my students will bring up things that I don't have in my scheme of work or have in my lesson plan or I wasn't going to cover. And I think, oh, that'd be great if I had like a PowerPoint ready for them, or I had something I could just send them in the next couple of minutes to have when they go home. So let's say I was reading this article on the power of music, and I thought, this is great, I want my students to have this. I would just open up a Sway. And now I click on create new. And I think, well, yeah, I kind of like all of this. So if it'll let me, let's say I want that. Yeah, a bit more, I want up to there. I press copy. I go to Sway. I press paste. And there it is in a Sway. Links, photos, videos, everything. Exactly the same as on the website. All right, this is so useful and really easy and quick. Let's say you're missing out on a starter task for your students. Well, you've been reading an article, you're looking at a website, or looking at a live performance, and you just copy and paste it straight into a Sway. Sway does everything for you, stacks it exactly like that for you. And you can find parts in it where you want to ask them questions. So if you put, why is this important? Make it a header just by clicking header and highlighting it. If we go back to Sway, so I'm taking them through this article and some presentation about how music benefits people in life and how it's shown to have proven sort of medical benefits. Why is that important? Well, it's because of this. So that's the way I use Sway.
That's honestly changed my life, that last bit, Lewis.
What it might have done.
That thing you've just shown me has just changed my life.
Yeah, I use it for assignment briefs, music lessons, especially theatre lessons, because they sort of, I don't ever want my students to sort of stop being creative, even if they're being academic. Yeah. So if I switch my screen, so yeah, I use it for all sorts of things. So I never, as I said, never want my students to sort of think, well, now the fun bit stopped, we have to do the serious stuff now. So let me get back to the PowerPoint.
Do you want it still on the Internet Explorer, or do you want it on something else?
I was going to try and share my PowerPoint, but the Alt tab is not working. So let's share PowerPoint.
Yeah,
there we go. There's the boy. So yeah, so I use it for all sorts of things. I've used it for assignment briefs, especially. I'm not going to dare click on any of the links to show you.
Do it.
But you'll get.
Do it. You've got 6 minutes. Go out as a glory. I've posted in the chat though, if anyone does have questions and they don't want to know who they are, you can post as anonymous. We don't have to publish everything that's come up. There are 3 new ones, Nick. Oh, so yeah, there was someone who said, has the screen frozen? Probably.
So I'll see if that loads, but it probably won't. Well, yeah, imagine what an assignment brief would look like. And I imagine it being really good, you know, really interactive and that's probably what I was going to show you. So. We didn't even get to do my really good animations as well. I'm going to do it just for the sake of it because I've spent all this time doing it. Oh, and it's not done them either. Never mind. Most importantly, any questions, guys?
It's a good job we didn't get you doing PowerPoint online, Lewis.
Absolutely.
We've got other people lined up for PowerPoint.
I don't think this is real, John. I think you just set this up to wind me up. I think this is a ruse. I think I did something terrible to you in a previous life.
The 8 people watching all of SMT.
In fact, you brought all your mates in to just have a go at me. But yeah.
So I think, yeah, Diane's posted something if you want to have a look at that one, Nick.
Yeah,
thank you, Diane.
No worries.
I just published that. I mean, it's that thing. It is really fun to play with, and this is what this is all about. It's finding new things. So take this as an example of you want to be sort of using this stuff for your students and sort of advancing it and just finding as more and more creative ways, not only to save you time, but to get the kids more engaged. And it doesn't take any much extra effort at all.
I think the students really enjoy it as well. I've been using it over the last couple of weeks with students for a variety of different lessons, and they've really engaged with it. And it's almost like a little bit competitive now of who can make the best way, who can get the links in, and they really have taken to it, which I think is great. You know, kids learn very quickly. Sometimes it's us that takes a little bit longer to learn things.
Well, yeah, I mean that's the thing, is that they're more advanced than us with stuff like this. They really are. And then they'll find things that you think you're teaching them it.
Yeah.
And they'll find things you wouldn't even know it could do that, or even think it could do it in that context. Some of my students have embedded sways into their Instagram accounts, and it plays as a video and it scrolls all the way through, and it's like a rabbit hole of loads of different videos and things like that.
I think sometimes as well they can teach us.
Yeah.
I think they find things out. Sometimes gone through and they found things that we haven't actually found yet. You know, we're new to it as well, and therefore they're teaching us at the same time. So I think it's good, and they end up teaching each other as well, which I think is really beneficial.
Yeah,
a lot of collaboration.
Do you know something I might have forgot to mention is everything's not matter what you do on Sway, it saves automatically. So one good thing is that they get them to do assignments on Sway. Not only does it look better, but it saves automatically to Sway in the cloud, so they'll never lose it. They can always edit it at any time.
So no more excuses.
Yeah, absolutely.
There's another one in there. It's posted from anonymous, but if you want to publish that one, Nick, and possibly see if you've ever, it's quite an interesting one actually. I don't know what, from your perspective, what you think on that one.
It's a really interesting question.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it is. I've not ever had that experience, because when they copy and paste from a website, it includes all the references and links to where it comes from.
So the question is, do the students, just in case people haven't got it open, do the students make sways from websites and claim it as their own work, like for an assignment or something?
They don't. I definitely nick things from websites and claim that I'm presenting it as my idea. So I definitely like things like stuff from articles. I think that'll back up my point. I'll put it into a sway, and it's all about sharing ideas, really. But I've never had anybody as of yet hand in a sway as an assignment and it be copied from somewhere else, because as soon as you copy and paste something from somewhere, it has the references in it. And you know, that's the trouble with any sort of way the students are handling things. And it could be in a Word document. You know, it's on across all forms of where they're handing the stuff in. You've got to look out for it. So if you think it's plagiarised, you can, you know, copy a bit of it and put it into Google and find where it came from. And Sway will have where it came from anyway.
Cool, there's no more, so thanks for that, guys.
Wonderful, thank you so much.
Thank you for joining us.
Thanks for putting up with us, and hopefully that's been at least showed you exactly what Sway was, so you can find out on your own how to use it. So yeah, thank you everybody.
Okay, thank you, bye.